Welcome to Fullerton College Softball on SportsNetUSA.net. Hey, I'm Mark Pavlovich along with my partner of 18 years, Corey Nalen, and we are the voices of Fullerton College Sports here on SportsNetUSA.net. It's the OEC Tournament Championship game. There was already an OEC champion, and that is the Fullerton College Hornets, the hosting team. But their nemesis, Corey Nalen, they're here. Brad Pickler, 9 state championships, 27 times to the state finals. The man is a true legend and has always been the thorn in Fullerton's side when they've gotten into tournament play. It seems like Brad's team's always knocked them out from getting to the top of the hill.
Yeah, and this year as Cypress finishes third behind Santa Ana in second, who is beating Santiago Canyon right now in the Consolation Championship, as Fullerton took the title this year. This is a different team for the Fullerton Hornets. This is a team with chemistry, who like each other, who have fun together, and it really shows out there for Crystal Aguirre and Speedy Mendoza. Those coaches got their team playing well, got them team playing tight, and it's going to be an interesting game today. If it's under 5, Fullerton's got it with Jessica Lopez in the circle. If it's over 5 runs, well, it might be Cypress all the way.
We'll see, as Alondra Natera was voted the Golden Glove catcher in the OEC, so we want to congratulate her. And you look at that defense, Natera at catcher, Peep House at first, the quiet one, Natalie Gonzalez at second base, Corey, who I love, Casey Dufresne, who's probably got one of the best gloves at third base for the Hornets, Dee Ramirez, the all-OEC player at short, Miranda Rooney, an unspoken left fielder, Murrow in center, and Ferguson at right. This defense is a lot better than they get the love for. That's the thing to look at them about.
And you look at that lineup for Cypress, who's going to start. Jordan Thompson in left field, Alyssa Huerta at second base. Batting third is Emily Atkinson at first. Emily Rush, who's in the circle, is batting fourth. Paige Schaefer, fifth in right field. Eliza Sandoval is batting sixth at third. Cameron Adimondo at shortstop. Aubrey New, the designated player, and Cameron Curiel in center field.
So those are the beginning lineups, and we'll see if Lopez can continue what she did yesterday. 127 strikeouts. A nice little 7-inning shutout yesterday. Misses the first call on the outside corner. Corey, she worked the outside part of the plate yesterday masterfully, because what she did is she painted the edge of the plate all day long. She gets that outside corner for the first strike of the game.
And that's what a good pitcher does in the game of softball, Mark. If they can paint those edges, if they can hit, I know you don't like the black part of the plate, but if they can hit the black part of the plate, that's going to be strikes all day.
Natalie Gonzalez flips it over to first. So Thompson, who starts the game off for Cypress, grounds out to the quiet one.
Second base number 14, Alyssa.
Alyssa Huerta is now coming up for Cypress.
Huerta batting .422 this season. Mark, their starting lineup all bats over 300.
That's amazing. And I guess Lopez said, well, if number 2 is .422, I'll groove you a fastball and see if you can catch up with it. Takes the next one high. Corey, you look at Huerta's numbers up there too for a number 2 hitter. She's only struck out twice the entire season.
Well, that's the thing. You take a look at this. If you don't strike out, you're getting on base, and that's one of those on base percentage type of things that you like.
Takes that one low.
No one inside, and Lopez has a variety of pitches, Mark. The one pitch you need, which he is effective as you've been here all season, is that off-speed pitch.
Brings it home. High fastball. down the foul line, and it drops foul, and I really did think Miranda Rooney was going to get to it.
Speaking of Miranda Rooney, the starting left fielder, in center is Emily Muro. Right field is Madison Ferguson. Left to right in the infield, Casey Dufresne at third base, Dee Ramirez at short. Conference Player of the Year, as Ryan Osborne likes to say. Second base is Natalie Gonzalez, you say the quiet one, and Madison Peavyhouse at first. As we said, Lopez is in the circle, and the Golden Glove winner, Alondra Natera, is her battery mate behind the dish.
So we have an injury already, and that's the reason that we thought Rooney was going to get it. She pulled up, Corey. She felt something when she was going for that foul ball, and she's grabbing the back of her leg, so a little tightness there. And we'll see if Clarissa Hernandez, who normally comes up, will end up coming up. So Santa Ana, the Dons, they win the consolation game against Santiago Canyon. And Rooney is down to start this game with. So it looks like we'll see if it's just a cramp, as we have the best athletic training staff in the nation out here working on it right now. You look at this Cypress team for the season, like we talked about Brad's team, 19-7 overall, 16-5 in conference. They were 10-4 at home, 9-3 on the road. They've won their last 4 games, and you look at the numbers they put up, Corey. Against Golden West, it was 21-0. Then they lose to Mount Sac 1-0. Then they beat Golden West 17-0, 14-3, 11-3. And then they take on a very good Santa Ana team yesterday to get in this championship, and they win that game 13-4. So when you look at it, there's 30, 44, 55. If you add the 21 up there, 76 runs in 6 games. You throw in that 1-0, I forgot it, but that's 77. I mean, that's an offense.
Rooney's going to stay in. You can tell this is a championship game, Mark. And no playoffs here in the CCCAA this year due to COVID, but there is an OEC championship between the 2 top teams in the nation, in the state, as you call them, in California Community College. And you got to say the nation as well. A couple teams up north, Mark, is going to a little bit debate you.
Smash. Dee Rivera goes down low, comes across, and guns her out. You love what Dee does. She plays defense with her feet as a shortstop. She moves quickly, Corey, and she sets herself well at the shortstop position.
Yeah, even though she backhanded it, came down, was still in front with the backhand, and she went down to one knee, came up, took her time, and threw out the speedy Huerta.
Emily Atkinson now, the first base person for Cypress, is up.
Atkinson, one of the top power hitters in the OEC this season.
Fouls it off. She is such a still hitter when you watch her. You'll see a lot of batters go up there. They give the little bat twirl. They flex their fingers. They have the timing motion. But Corey, she gets up there and stands still in the batter's box. Off-speed pitch, just low.
And there's that off-speed, Mark, you just said, that change that complements her fastball so well. But again, you say Atkinson is there. She's steady, she's calm. She bats .500 on the season.
2-1. Fastball. Driven to center field. Murrow goes back and hauls it in for the 3rd out. So a quick top of the 1st. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. As we head to the bottom of the 1st, it's Cypress 0, the Hornets getting ready to come up to bat. You've seen this Hornet team all year long, and it's really one of those teams that you talked about it earlier, Corey. You really don't see a weakness in this Fullerton College team.
No, they did have 32 errors on the season, but that is, overcompensated by how well they play together, and they don't get flustered when they make an error. So yeah, they played well. This is the best team, even though that 2019 team went to state, it performed well in state. I think this is a better team simply because of the chemistry, based on the wantness of doing well. As Emily Rush is in the circle for Cypress, Eliana Mora is her battery mate at catcher. Emily Atkinson at first base, Alyssa Huerta at second. Eliza Sandoval is at third base, and Cameron Adimondo at short. In the outfield, Jordan Thompson in left, Cameron Curiel in center, and Paige Schaefer in right field.
Leading off for the Hornets is going to be Madison Ferguson, the right fielder, followed by the quiet one, Natalie Gonzalez, playing second base for the Hornets. Batting third is going to be Miranda Rooney, who is in left field. And if we get that far, then Dee Ramirez, the OEC Player of the Year, will be batting cleanup here in the first. Emily Rush, an ERA of 1.36. Just love the way these young women are proving that championship pitchers have that below 2 ERA.
And Mark, every time we have that conversation with somebody, they keep proving me right. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna find somebody yet to agree with me.
1 out of 10 is not good. That's below that 200 line in baseball and softball.
Man, they'd be dropping me into the minors right about now.
Thank you. You got to come around to the rightness.
Ferguson takes that first one for a strike, fouls back the second one, and hits a little internet connection that I said when Albert Robles was putting it up there. You do know that a ball's going to come back and whack this, don't you? Not enough to knock us off the air here, though.
Well, Albert's awake now.
0-2 count. Off the corner, did not get the call. And it's funny, we talked about what Corey and I were just talking about. Bridget Ruiz, who's come back to help the staff here at Fullerton. I had to ask her the question, and yeah, another one who sided with Mr. Nailen. I think it's just because you're younger. That one's down and away. You know, you millennial all stick together.
Younger and knowledgeable? I'm sorry, knowledgeabler? There we go. Albert's the young one.
Everybody's the young one sitting next to me. Ferguson. 2-2 count. Sprays the ball and can pull it. Sprays it down the left field line.
352 hitter is Ferguson. If she gets on base, she's a threat to steal, Mark. 16 stolen bases on the season. Fullerton is second in the state in stolen bases this year. I believe they were 8th in the state in defensive fielding percentage.
Flared down the line again.
And you like this first at bat for Ferguson. Ball count is 2-2, but again, there's 2 straight foul offs. And she's making Rush pitch more in her first batter of the game. Good weekend for softball, Mark.
Excellent weekend. Perfect weather for a game today. Taken down over there, hit down the third base line to Sandoval and over to first. Natalie Gonzalez now comes up.
Natalie Gonzalez.
Natalie yesterday was 1 for 2 against Santiago Canyon.
$18 hits coming into the season. .391 average and .443 on base. Another speedster at the top of the lineup.
And it's interesting, you watch Sandoval crowd the line at third base for Cypress.
You like the way Rush works that outside part of the plate. And both pitchers throughout this ballgame, you'll see if they vary that eye level of the batter.
Off-speed pitch, gets away a little. 2-1.
Looked like it started off as a knuckleball and just didn't have the grip necessary.
Two-one pitch, fouled away.
I gotta say, Cypress and Fullerton do have the two best uniforms in the OEC.
Don't they? I really like the one again today, the ladies from Fullerton in all blue. White lettering, gold piping around the lettering with Fullerton across the top of the blouse. Off speed, fouled away again.
Nice piece of hitting, even though it was a foul ball by Gonzalez. She waited on that off-speed pitch. It's one of those things where she kept her hands inside, didn't extend until the ball was there, and they focused until that came through.
2-2 count. Get the sign from the dugout. Rush brings it home. Down there, slap shot again. What again? Sandoval, who's crowding the line, Corey. I mean, most third base people are 2 or 3 steps off the bag. She's on top of the bag at third base. Brings up Miranda Rooney, who we saw go down. Now they back up for Rooney, and they back up deep in left field. The wind's usually coming from left to right. It's a crossing wind here at Fullerton.
About 190 down the right field line. Barely missed. Straight away about 205 down the left field line, 200. And Mark, I was going to say their batting motto when they're at the plate with the bone on in the dugout.
Hits it up. Nice little candy hop to Adamondo, who flips over to first base. So both teams start off the same way. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. As we head to the top of the second here in the championship tournament, OEC championship game, it's the Hornets 3, Cypress College 3 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. The Chargers, Brad Pickler, synonymous with Hall of Fame softball. Of course, I look over at Greg Schultz, the president of Fullerton College, has the old Fullerton College baseball hat on. The gold F on top with the UCLA blue as the color of the hat. One of the hats that Ryan Osborne thinks is the prettiest of all the Fullerton College baseball hats.
I would agree.
We had a fun conversation with Crystal and Speedy in the dugout before, Corey, and you brought up an interesting thing. You played a lot of sports, and you said how this team was more together. So, besides being a better team, you said maybe they were a better team than that 2019 year, or?
Yeah, because of the togetherness of the team. Like we mentioned in the dugout, as in that togetherness, they showed well in the playoffs in 2019. But this team, if they had have gotten to the playoffs, and if there had have been playoffs, I think they would have been more accustomed to get to the title game because of that chemistry, because of that togetherness, that willingness to sacrifice their, let's say, home run rather than bunt someone over to in scoring position. That is a key that really propels teams to championships. And Clarissa Hernandez comes in left field for Miranda Rooney.
Okay, so Rooney comes out of the game. Hernandez now in left field. Clarissa has played left field off and on all year. So the Hornets are not missing anything defensively by putting Hernandez out there. Emily Rush comes to the plate. Takes the first pitch for a strike.
Nursing major. Team's leading pitcher. That's .415 on the season.
Takes the second one for a strike. So if you'd say there's the difference between the two young women in the circle, Lopez hitting numbers aren't that prolific. Rush has excellent hitting numbers for this Cypress team. Fouls it away.
And both pitchers are working the outside part of the plate to both sides of the batters. And both are low in the zone, prompting those ground balls that we've seen 5 out of 6 times in the first 6 batters.
You just joined us? 0-0 here in the top of the second. A little low. 1-2's the count. So Santa Ana takes the consolation game here in the OEC tournament over Santiago Canyon, who lost yesterday to Fullerton College 3-0. There she is, the glove, Dufresne at third base. Throws out Emily Rush. I really do like Casey Dufresne as a third base person.
Number 12, Paige Schaefer.
So Schaefer now comes up for the Chargers.
5'11" freshman from Marina High School.
Paige Schaefer.
You'll like this on-base percentage of .500.
I'll take a hitter that's up there every other time getting on base. Pulls that they're going to call it safe. I'm almost going to say that was like a drag bunt, Corey Nalen, which I've talked to you about all year long. The lefty pulls it down the line with her and beats the throw at first base.
Yeah, it was not a full drag, kind of like a half drag as she was still in the batter's box and wasn't running out of the batter's box. But she accelerated so quickly down the line that the ball was just deadened right off the bat.
A skill that has been lost through the years. And that brings up Liza Sandoval playing third base for Cypress today. Now, like Corey said, you go down and look at the numbers for everybody, and you just don't find a weakness offensively in this Cypress lineup.
No, 303 is the lowest batting average, and you're starting 9. And you're saying that might be the weak link. That's pretty impressive. You are saying there are no weak links in our batting lineup. You just got to be a better pitcher.
Inside and tight. 1-1's the count.
Jessica Lopez trying to do what Odyssey Alexander did of James Madison of Oklahoma yesterday against the most prolific lineup in NCAA history in Oklahoma. As she would beat them 4-3.
Fastball. Calissa Hernandez backs up underneath it, sets herself to throw in. And once again, when I've talked about the young ladies in the outfield, everybody judges the ball well. Now the difference between Miranda Rooney and Clarissa Hernandez, Rooney might have a better arm in the outfield.
Let's bring up Cameron Adimondo, the shortstop. Sophomore on this season, 357, 477, 25 hits and 2 doubles.
Runner goes, throw is high into center field. The runner takes off. Here comes the throw over to third. Runner is safe. Throws there. but the tag was just a little late. So Cypress gets the stolen base, takes third on the overthrow, which should be an error.
You're not going to give an error yet unless the run scores. See how nice I am?
Wow.
You and Ryan agree on everything with the errors and stuff.
Driven out to center field and right to the sure hands of Emily Murrow for the out. So Cypress once again gets turned away, but this time they come away with at least one hit. No runs, one hit, no errors, and one left on base. It's the Chargers 0, the Hornets 0, here on Sportsnet USA.net. Corey Nealon, Gabby Nealon, Albert Robles, Ed Ford out in the wilderness down the left field line. Joseph Pavlenko from KBPK sitting behind us. Yeah, we got everybody out here today. Big crowd. People are back, and yes, the place is packed. Why wouldn't they be? It's Fullerton College against Cypress College, and it's softball. When you look at it, we have done so many Cypress Chargers games. What do you say about Brad Pickler? I mean, is he just because he's won championships get talent? Or does he just seem to get talent that he molds into be a championship team?
Yes.
Thank you. So that makes me up now 2-1 on right answers in today's game. Corey did get a little support from the Fullerton College bench from ERA, but Cypress fans are loving me.
I already won that competition because players already agreed with me. So that trumps everything.
Wow. Another game rigged when I compete against Corey Nealon. Probably sent out emails before the beginning of the season. D. Ramirez.
The Hornets, number 1, D. Ramirez.
Coming to the plate. And the love D has gotten from sports@usa.net. Well,
what, meaning the player of the year?
Player of the year.
A very good shortstop. Again, the line from Sydney McCollum, who played at Cypress a few years ago. Janelle Guadagno, who played at Cerritos about 10 years ago, won a state title for Cody at Cerritos.
Yeah.
Outstanding shortstop lineage in the OEC.
1-1's the count. And they are shortstops, when you mention those three, Corey, they're shortstops that make plays that, even at this level, amaze you when you see them make a certain play. D. Hot shot. I'm going to let my partner, Corey Nealon, score that one.
That's going to be a base hit. You said a hot shot to second base. It wasn't right at her, so that's not going to be an error. She did have to move a few steps over to try to make that play, and it was just there on her.
So Alyssa Huerta. Corey Nealon's going to say, just a little too fast of a hit to get in the position to get the person out, but there's D. Ramirez one more time, making herself evident in this Hornet lineup.
Yeah, 405, 457 on base, 4 home runs with 20 RBI in the season was Ramirez.
Madison Peavyhouse now comes up. Solid first base person for the Hornets.
She's got 6 doubles this year.
And if she gets that double, she's going to take it to the right center gap. She tries to drop a bunt, fouls it off.
You know, I'm not sure I wouldn't try to drop one again at 0-2. Simply because first and third are going to play even at the bags now. They're going to back up with an 0-2 count.
It's one of our guests from the show.
Yep, Wesley Curtis. He's our third guest of the show.
Takes it to right field. And again, where I said her power goes to right field, Corey, that's the type of hit you would want from that hitter behind that single. Driving the ball behind the person in front of you to at least get that runner in scoring position.
Well, and Fullerton lucked out on that play because there was a run and hit on. D. Ramirez was going on contact, or even before contact. And so if that had been a line drive caught at first base by Atkinson, that would have been an easy double play.
So Casey Dufresne now is up.
I like Dufresne, Mark. We were talking about her earlier. And the home run situation here at Fullerton, you brought up the wind. And does the wind play a factor in home runs because there's so few at Fullerton? You got to say yeah. Because it's not the biggest ballpark, but when the ball gets up over the ivy or above the ivy in the air, it seems to halt.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely, yeah. We've seen balls that we've been here, Corey, and you hear them and you think, that's gone. And you go, what happened?
I think because there's no football stadium across the street. And so if there was a football stadium, there'd be more home runs hit.
Frayne takes that one for a strike.
Or it could be the hot air from neighbors. You know, the air conditioner's blowing out of their house. Maybe that's it, preventing those home runs.
You know, we could do 2 scientific studies on that. Takes it, again, taken over at first base by Atkinson, but that moves D. Ramirez to third base.
And it was a design hit to the right side by Clarissa.
Left fielder number
I'm sorry, by
13,
Casey, excuse me.
So Clarissa Hernandez, who came in for Miranda Rooney, is an excellent bunter, and this is where Corey Nayland, as the infield comes in very tight. Takes it the other way. Clarissa's got to run. It's going to be speed. Just a beautiful play by Adamondo at short for Cypress. Corey, it was going to be bang, bang. She fields it cleanly and makes the throw to first. So for the Hornets, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. As we head to the top of the third, it's the Chargers 0, the Hornets 0, here on Sportsnet USA.net.
Good to see you, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
No, we're just saying it's good to see you, Greg. It is a good ball game. We like this. Let's put it this way. These are the 2 best teams in California, according to Mark. So if they're the 2 best teams in California, they're the 2 best teams in the nation at this level.
I like it.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Greg.
There's Corey, the college president, agreeing on that, and realized there would not be softball here if it wasn't for Margot Davis. And of course, you always like to bring up that there wouldn't be a UCLA dynasty if there wasn't Fullerton College softball.
Yeah, Margot Davis started softball in community college. She's coached for Fullerton for a long, long time. Then she had a product by the name of Sharon Backus. Sharon Backus is the architect of UCLA softball. And if you don't know UCLA softball, then you're not a softball fan. And I'll let you look that up. And so with that, also, UCLA softball 1989 title-winning team had Julie Paulus on the team. Also played at Fullerton. So Fullerton has had an instrumental take and value for UCLA baseball or softball.
Well, and if you talk to Speedy, also UCLA softball guided her career to get where she is today.
Yeah.
Designated player. Miss New is now up. For Cypress. We're sitting at 0 after 2. This is what we expected. Corey Nayland has already predicted. If it's under 5, it's a Hornet victory.
New batting .438. Her on-base percentage, Mark, .438. So you know what that means.
She's good.
Yeah, and that she's going to hit. She ain't walking. She ain't looking up. She's not up there looking to walk to first base.
Swings through that. 1-2.
And she swung like she was going to walk around all 3 bases and touch the 4th. And nice rise pitch by Lopez. And again, that's that change of eye level what good pitchers have. The first 2 innings, she's been down in the zone away from the hitters. This at bat, she's been up in the zone.
Fouls it off, and it's interesting. Corey talks about Aubrey just trying to get a base hit. Corey, when you look at it, she struck out 6 times this year. No walks.
Yeah.
Santa Ana takes the consolation game. Off-speed pitch, out of the zone.
Lopez in the circle on the season, 172 earned run average. That's not bad. That's what you'd want in the circle from a pitcher. 124 strikeouts, 42 walks.
Drive to center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. So Corey's already said about Aubrey New when she gets up there, she wants to get that hit. That's exactly what she does.
Yeah.
That's going to bring up Cameron Curiel. Playing center field.
I know this is kind of repetitious. 348 hitter.
Squares the bunt, fouls it away.
We'll set that defensive lineup in just a moment. Cypress got here by beating Golden West, and then they beat Santa Ana yesterday, 13-4, 14 hits, no errors, holding Santa Ana to 4 runs and 6 hits. Santa Ana committed 4 errors.
Just off the plate, Natera tries to frame it for her battery mate.
In that game against Santa Ana yesterday, Mark, Eliza Sandoval got the win. She pitched 5 innings, 6 walks, 5 Ks, gave up those 6 hits. Atkinson went 3 for 4, as well as Emily Rush, 3 RBI each.
Natera, who has won the Golden Glove, behind the plate as that gets fouled up in the air by Curiel and dives for it, Corey, and gets the big first out of the inning.
And that's why she got the Gold Glove, Mark. The reaction time.
So we go back to the top of the lineup. Thompson, her first time up, grounded out to Natalie Gonzalez. Jordan Thompson playing left field for the Chargers, and we're going to have a conversation out in the circle. And Corey, I agree with you. If somebody says you don't know anything about UCLA history, you don't know anything about softball. There are certain dynasties that you should know about. And when it comes to softball, that is the dynasty on the D1 level.
Yeah, 12 national titles at that level. I mean, you talk about the last 20 years, and here's where you can say the last 20 years has been other teams, and the teams in the SEC and the South are playing better. But it's still UCLA. Yeah, then there's Oklahoma. Then there's teams like Alabama. But when its first words are UCLA, your second words are Arizona, third words are the West Coast, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. And when you talk about great coaches, you can talk about UCLA, but the winningest coach on the D1 level is Carol Hutchins over at Michigan. D. Ramirez gets it, throws the second in time. So Thompson out on a fielder's choice. It's over at first.
Second baseman number 14, Alyssa Huerta.
So Alyssa Huerta playing second base for Cypress. Grounded out to D. Ramirez. First time up.
And when you go to trust issues, Mark, for the Fullerton team, there are none. This is not a pitcher who's afraid to let her defense work for her.
Throw to second. And the Golden Glove catcher shows her goal in this inning as they take off on the first pitch and she guns out Thompson and Corey. That BB was right on the bag.
Well, you called her out even before the ball was released. She came out of that crouch so quickly and fired that BB through. It was on a line drive, and she said, it ain't happening twice.
So the Hornets keep the Chargers in place. No runs on one hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. As we head to the bottom of the third, it's the Hornets 0, the Chargers 0. Lopez, 13 victories in the season. The OEC had some pitchers this year.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica Lopez.
I mean, if this had been a complete season, you could have had 4, and if Riverside had played, you could have had 5 OEC teams make the playoffs and do very well. Fullerton beat Santiago Canyon 3-0 yesterday. 8 hits to 2 hits, but Santiago Canyon, no errors. Fullerton had 1 as Lopez improved to 14-3. Struck out 7, only walked 1.
Yeah, she was dialed in yesterday.
So let's see if she helps her cause here.
Well, you look at her this season, Corey, and it's one of those people that you try to say the pitchers are not one-dimensional. And she says, well, I can get the bat on the ball, but Alyssa Huerta says, yeah, I can just go up and get it just a little, and that's exactly what happened.
Center fielder number 15.
Emily Murrow is now up for the Hornets.
.222 for the center fielder as she steps to the plate. Huerta and Atkinson on the right side of the infield.
Murrow sort of shows a bunt, pulls it back, thought it was in.
Sandoval at third and Adamando at short on the left side.
Takes the next one for a strike. 0-2, and she's going to take a conversation. We talked about Bridget Ruiz coming back and helping here at Fullerton, but Cypress has got a quality shortstop sitting over in their dugout that amazed us for the years that we called games over at Cypress College.
Yeah, Sidney McCollum, part of that 2017 undefeated team. The only undefeated team in California Community College history, went 48-0.
Won the state title.
Yes, they did. McCollum went and transferred to Long Beach State. She's arguably the top 3 players of the last 10 years in the OEC, in my opinion.
Next pitch high.
Try a rise ball.
So who are the other 2?
Don't know. I haven't done enough research.
Okay. I didn't know if you did or not. That's why I was asking. You'll get it on one of our softball games. We'll pick an all OEC softball team one day.
I was going to have it today, but, you know.
Murrow swings through that one.
Right fielder number 44, Madison.
Madison Ferguson grounded out to third.
Listen up, y'all, 'cause this is it. The beat that I'm banging is electric.
And that's the first strikeout for either pitcher today.
Sidney McCollum, lifetime batting average, .437 at Cypress College.
You could say Janelle Guadagno at Cerritos. See, that was about 12 years ago, though, because 1,000% fielding percentage as a shortstop led her team to the state title.
That's off the thing. Yeah, you could put her in there.
Maybe Destiny Vasquez from Cypress. Emily Olagi, Santiago Canyon, and I forget the catcher's name on that same team that won the title in 2016.
Flared down the left field line. Taken there on the dead run by Jordan Thompson. So we're sitting here at 0 through 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. And after 3 complete innings of play, it's the Chargers 0, the Hornets 0 here on Sportsnet USA.net. You know, I'm looking at some of Sidney McCollum's numbers. She was number 2 overall in doubles with 38. Like I said, her batting average .437. She was 10th in runs batted in. Keep going up and down these records for Cypress College. She's in quite a few of them when you look at her career over at Cypress College.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to make that OEC team from the last 10 to 12 years, because we have seen phenomenal players. We've seen players who've come in and just dominated.
And that shortstop that Corey was talking about is currently, that you put in your top 3 maybe right now, is currently the head coach at Cuesta College.
Yeah.
So would I get an argument from Cuesta, some of the other people around, that these are the 2 top teams in California?
Yes, you would get an argument. By the way, Cuesta was top team in fielding percentage this year with 987. You get an argument, yeah, Mark, because San Mateo is pretty much leading the state in every offensive category, and they have pitching this year. San Jose has a team that's been prolific offensively the last few years, but now they have a pitcher who's pitched a no-hitter. Who's pitched a no-hitter this season and has done well in the circle. They've got 2 losses between them. So they have a saying, well, hey, we could be the best team. Sacramento City, they've lost 4 games this year. They've been quality. So yeah, you'd get an argument.
So Alyssa Huerta was at the plate when, well, the Golden Glove catcher gunned out the runner at first base. Drops down the butt. And not picked up by the sure-handed Casey Dufresne over at third base.
Huerta's a psychology major and made her mind say, stay fair, pick that up. Dufresne might have wanted to see if that one went foul anyway, because there was no chance she was getting Huerta.
Yeah, once she touched the glove, Huerta was already at first base. So
you're going to give her a single?
I am going to give her a single, because I'm with you too. Even if she would have fielded it, I don't believe she'd have made a throw. Square to bunt again. Out in front of the plate. PV House over to first. Now they get the runner. High throw to third. And she would have been out, but the ball was dropped.
So aggressive base running. Aggressive base running by Huerta. Yeah, she rounded second. It was a hit and run, or bunt and run. And so she was making it to third base no matter what. Or she was going to third base no matter what. So with 1 out, Cypress is in great position to get a run across the board.
Yeah, and she stops in between, so they had an opportunity to get her over at third base. High throw, tag was made, but then tag was dropped. And that's why she is safe at third base. But it's that old attitude here in the game of softball or baseball. Make the other team play defense against you.
It's funny, you mentioned that aggressive attitude. Saw a game yesterday between Oklahoma State and Georgia.
First pitch high and away.
As Georgia had an opportunity, a runner coming around third base, ball still in the outfield, and third base coach holds him up with there was one out. They're down 3-2. That's the tying run. They lose the game to Oklahoma State. That's a second guess.
Off the play. So you look at the Hornet defense, the way they're set up now, Corey. Dufresne comes in a little at third. PVL's inside the bag at first. Halfway at second and short, but the outfield is in normal depth.
Yeah,
so they're going to give up the run.
You know, I think the outfield is normal depth because Emily Rush can put a charge into it if she gets a hold of it. She's got 2 home runs, Mark. Her slugging percentage is .631. Here's the deal. She's not the fastest runner moving down the first base line. So you play your infield in to prevent that runner where to have third base from getting a good lead when you throw to first base. You got to make sure you look that runner back. You have time to take a look, hold it for a second, and then throw to first, and that gives you 2 outs. And now with 2 outs, you can play your normal defensive depth.
So is this time, even though you've got somebody at the plate that is a excellent hitter and can hit with power, if you're Brad, do you come back with the bunt?
No.
Okay, Corey Nealon's passing on the bunt. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. First run at the game at third base.
Only because you can live with that runner at first base and try to turn 2 with the next batter.
2-0 count to Emily Rush. 3-0. So Jessica Lopez out of the strike zone. And it almost looks like I'm going to keep putting it up by your eyes where you may get anxious.
You know what? I'm swinging 3-0 here.
3-0 count.
Great pitch by Lopez.
On the hands.
On the hands, inside part of the plate, and at the letters.
3-1. Lopez takes a breath, brings it home. Same pitch. Short right field. Here comes the throw. The catch, the tag, and the run scores. The throw looked like it was there. The tag might have been bobbled, and that's why she's in.
And because
Right fielder number
the tag was made by the glove, ball was in the right hand of the catcher. So Natera tagged once with the glove, then the second time with the ball. By that time, it was too late. Aggressive play calling, run aboard.
Yeah, and she really tried to convince the umpire that, hey, the ball was in the glove when I tagged her. So Cypress gets on the board. So the seal is broken and a run is in. Bunt dropped. Picked up. Throw to first. In time. And Dufresne comes up playing third to make the play. But not before Cypress College gets on the board. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors. And 1 left on base. As we head to the bottom of the 4th. It's the Chargers 1, the Hornets 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. It'd be lovely if we could have seen a replay on that tag at home. Because, Corey, you basically said the reason she was safe is because she had the ball in her hand not contacting the glove.
Right, and because the ball was dropped at home plate, the throw was there. So the ball came, and as she's gathering herself, the glove does not have the ball in it. So she has to gather herself, makes one tag with the left hand, then the second tag with the right hand. If the ball's in the glove, she's out.
So Santa Ana College players show up. A little bigger crowd here at Fullerton College today. Yes, it's the OEC tournament. The Hornets are the OEC champions.
Yes, they are. And speaking of the 2021 season in the OEC, as we said, Fullerton finished 21-5, first in the OEC. First time since 2000 and 2001 seasons, back-to-back. Crystal Aguirre played for Lisa Bassi in that time. Cypress finished third, and they're here in the championship game. Before this, 5 consecutive OEC titles, Mark. Santa Ana was a second-place team. This is a team that came in, I think they surprised people this year, how well they played. With Emily Rosas, who finished 13-4, now 14-4 with the win today, and a 116 best in the OEC earned run average, and Santiago Cannon finished fourth.
Yeah, I mean, Santa Ana would get talked about, but I don't think ever respected, and they've done that this year by what they've done. So the Hornets trail in this game. Here in the bottom of the fourth, 1-0. Cypress gets the run on being aggressive on the base path. Brad Pickler, always a third base coach.
And you heard that old school jam, Mark?
Slap in the left field by Natalie Gonzalez. So now we'll see what the Hornets do here in the fourth inning.
Mark, you heard an old school jam, an old school play by Brad Pickler. Old school softball, bunt, run, be aggressive, and that's how you get your run across.
So we're going to get a designated runner. We'll see if we're going to get a designated runner or if they're just huddling up to talk strategy. A little timeout on the field for the Hornets.
And Mark, you talk about the OEC and you talk about these 4 teams that we just mentioned. All 4 teams have a state title. Fullerton won the state title in 1980. Santa Ana College won it in 85. Cypress has won 9. And Santiago Canyon, they won theirs in 2016. Actually, Santa Ana's got 2, 85 and 86.
Back-to-back state titles.
Yes, they do.
Miranda Rooney is up at the plate, and it's because she can handle the bat. We know that she's got, or we thought she might have something wrong with her leg. We'll see. She squares, fouls it off. And it's interesting now, it's coming down to bunts, Corey. It did for the Chargers and the Hornets. We talked about bunting with both Crystal and Speedy before this game started.
Yep.
She drops it down there, and she still has the lift. She does what she had to do, Corey. You catch the ball with your bat, deaden it, and it's just enough to make them take you at first base. And now the tying run for the Hornets is over at second base.
Again, this is the game of softball, Mark, and it's a pleasure to watch. Both coaches, all 3 coaches, playing well, and they know what it takes to win a championship, and they're playing to win a championship.
Dee Ramirez, who singled in the second, is up.
And Mark, in the last 15 years, Mount Sac and Cypress have won 10 of the state titles. Can you name the other teams that won the other 5 titles? And you at home.
Ramirez takes a strike.
As you're watching, you can go ahead and tweet us. My tweet, I don't even remember my Twitter handle, Mark. At CNEYL11. Mark at Sportsnet USA.
0-1. D. Ramirez gets ready. Pulls it down the line. Picked up and thrown over to first on just an incredible play by Alyssa Sandoval, who's been camped out on the third baseline. Makes the play, but then Natalie Gonzalez on the throw goes from second to third. So now on a pass ball and air, the Hornets can tie things up. So Peavy House will be coming up now. Third one, down. Brad Pickler goes out to the circle to talk to his players. Try to let them know, hey, the one thing you need to do here is knock the ball down. That may keep the runner over at third base if it's hitting the infield. Even if you don't make the play, you can always make the runner hesitate. And if the runner starts to go, you still have an opportunity to get that runner. And this is what we expected between Cypress. Brad walked in and said, hey, my team has found themselves at the end of the season. The girls are feeling good, and they were so excited about playing in some sort of post-season play that he said they feel like they're in the state championship. Tying run at third base. 2 outs for the Hornets here in the bottom of the fourth. Peavy House swings through the first pitch. Looks down to get a sign. 0-1 count. Takes a nice easy dribbler. Up to Adamando. Over to first. In time. So the Hornets get close, but don't score. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. As we head to the top of the fifth, it's Cypress College 1, Fullerton College 0, here on Sportsnet USA.net. Corey Nalen, Albert Robles, Joseph Pavlenko, the leader of KBPK, still here. Ed Ford, down the street in the corner, came by to visit, went back to where he was. Both teams talking to each other, trying to find some sort solace. So we've got a little break here after 4. Santa Ana College has showed up. Lots of people have shown up here at Fullerton today. Fullerton goes back on the field. You look at the Hornets defensively. Clarissa Hernandez in left. Emily Murrow in center. Madison Ferguson in right. Casey Dufresne at short. Dee Ramirez. Casey Dufresne at third. Dee Ramirez at short. The quiet one, Natalie Gonzalez at second. Madison Peavy House at first. The Gold Glover, Alondra Natera, catching, and in the circle, Jessica Lopez. Alyssa Sandoval is going to start it off for Cypress here in the 5th inning, followed by Cameron Adamando at short, and then New, the designated player, batting third. So those are the defensive setups, and the 3 starting off for Cypress, who's up by 1. Jessica Lopez wants to keep her team within striking distance in the circle. First one comes off her fingers and rolls in for a ball. Sandoval flew out to left. First time up. Ball 2. 2-0's the count. People to the left of me, people to the right of me. People all around me here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Sandoval Mark is a nursing major. And on the season, she's had some timely hits for the Chargers.
2-1's the count. Lopez rocks. Brings it. 2-2 on the inside corner. Ooh.
I think the strike zone is loosening up for the home plate umpire for both teams, Mark. Home plate umpire Lyle Dove. In the field is Tim Kohut. But not in a bad way, though.
2-2. Popped up. Clarissa Hernandez comes over and misjudges it and overruns the ball. It's going to drop in foul territory.
And the only reason, Mark, I mentioned that is because we had a conversation the other day about umpires squeezing pitchers that have been getting calls all season long, and they're squeezing them, and it almost seems like they need certain teams to advance. And so with the squeezing, and you have a powerful team, and right down the middle is the only thing you're getting as a strike, makes it difficult for pitchers to pitch. They have to have leeway to hit the corners and just a little bit outside. There you go.
So Sandoval strikes out.
And she, on that at bat, she changed her speeds, changed eye level as well, and changed locations. Went from left, went to outside, outside, inside, inside, right down the middle and up.
Cameron Adamondo now up, playing shortstop for Cypress. Flew out to center field her first time up. Every once in a while, Corey, a pitcher gets fixated on one spot to throw the ball when they're getting strikes and doesn't do what you just suggested to move the ball around.
Adamondo is one of those Cypress players through and through. He went to Cypress High School, Division II CIF champ. Wants to be a strength and conditioning coach as he's a kinesiology major.
Fouls that one off.
And a check swing. That was a rise pitch, but it came and it rose and curved at the same time because it came and right at the last minute it broke. And it broke to the inside part of the plate, and that's why she had to check her swing.
1-2's the count. A little more noise from the Fullerton side. High and tight. Bends her back just a little, says, hey, I know you're there. Adamondo shows her flexibility by getting out of the way of that pitch. 2-2 count. 3-2 count.
Fullerton fans don't like the call, but it was a correct call. Way inside and a little low.
So 3-2. Driven to center field. And the first direction step taken by Emily Murrow was in, and the ball goes over the top of her head. So Corey, she came in immediately. A line drive hit at you was always the toughest one to judge.
Yeah, and it came right at her, and that's one of those things, Mark, as it didn't get above the ivy. And so it came on a line drive and kind of rose steadily as it was hit. It kind of caught that jet stream that they have here straight back to the center field fence.
Player number 42, Aubrey New.
So Aubrey New now comes up, and we'll see if Brad does what I would think he would do, would be drop a bunt.
I'm not sure he will. But, you know, over 1,400 wins. I don't think he's anything predictable.
New takes that pitch, high and away.
And with New as a batter who's not going to walk and is a straight hitter, I think you hit away. I think after that last hit by Adamando, I think you're just trying to press your luck and swing away.
New swings at one around her eyes for a strike.
She was as late as me meeting my family for dinner.
One count. D. Ramirez deep at short. Off the plate. Dufresne even with the bag at third. Ramirez very deep at shortstop. Natalie Gonzalez a normal depth. PV House in a little at first. White down the middle. There's that pitch you like, Corey, a little change of speed.
Yeah, we saw the first two pitches, high fastballs at high level. This pitch came through right at the knees, right down the plate, but that off speed freezes them just a little bit.
2-2 count. Comes back with the same pitch.
And does Lopez have a curveball in her repertoire?
She does. So we'll see if Corey Nayland's calling the right pitch here. 2-2 count. One out. Runner at second. Driven towards Natalie Gonzalez over to first. Not in time.
I'm going to leave that one up to you.
That's an error.
Okay.
E4. So the sure-handed second base person lets that eat her up. And now runners at the corner for Cypress College. And now if Joseph Pavlenko was sitting next to me, you'd say, Mr. Pavlovich, what would you do? And Corey Nayland, this is where I like to drop a squeeze play.
I'm not squeezing here.
Oh, I love squeezing in this position because you sacrifice the runner to second base. Worst case scenario, put another runner in scoring position. If it's done properly, you're going to score the run and advance a runner to second base.
And that's where, as you squeeze here, I'm not throwing the ball to first place. I'm keeping that runner on third base no matter what. I'm holding it. I'll take bases loaded. I'll keep the bases loaded. And then if you want to squeeze again, and if you lay down a perfect bunt, my catcher's going to step on home plate for the force out. And as hard as these last two batters have hit the ball, I'm swinging away with Cameron Curiel.
So you feel like they've got the timing, but see, I think I've got a batter coming up here now that handles the bat well and is fast enough to make you play her if it happens.
Only because Curiel is coming up to the plate. That's the only reason you will squeeze, because she's not a power hitter. She's not going to drive the ball deep enough unless it's just one groove down the plate.
And we'll see if we get a designated runner.
Curiel is batting .357 with a .386 slugging percentage. 25 hits, 2 doubles, 13 RBI. No, excuse me, .348 with a .394 slugging percentage.
Center fielder number 20, Cameron.
1 home run, 10 RBI. I'm not so sure I'd swing away. I would swing away even with her.
So D. Ramirez now is the designated runner over at first base for Cypress College. Speed on the corners. Crafty hitter at the plate. Bunt offered and pulled back. Oh, I've got the wrong roster. Okay. You can correct me.
So Sarah Duran at first base, California high school sophomore.
Popped up off the fence. They called her out for being out of the box because it was a slap hit and she took that step up first, Corey. And if you're the Hornets, there's the big break. And what, you know what you like about Brad Pickler? Most coaches would argue it just to argue it. Brad Pickler just shakes his head and walks away.
Because you have to. Because there's nothing you can do about that. And that's one rule. I'm not sure how I feel about it, that's been updated in recent years. I mean...
So would you just call it a strike?
I would call it a strike, unless it's egregious, or if it's somebody who keeps doing it, that's when I would call it. And that's how it used to be back in the day. When it was egregious, then you'd call it. But I don't think the speed of the game is so impactful anymore that you need to call it. And speaking of these two teams, they split the season series 2-2. At Cypress in the first game, Fullerton won 2-0. Cypress won that second game 14-6 in the first doubleheader. Second doubleheader at home for Fullerton. Fullerton wins 5-2. Cypress wins the second game 7-4.
So Jordan Thompson comes up, grounded out to Natalie Gonzalez in the first, then got on a fielder's choice in the third, but then was thrown out trying to steal second. So the Hornets get what Corey would call a technical out.
CIF Player of the Year. Yes, Thompson won a CIF title out of Cypress High School. State title out of Cypress. Second team All-State is Jordan Thompson when she was in high school as a Centurion.
Big moment here in the fifth. Lopez brings it. Popped up, out of the way. How decisive is 2 runs when you're Cypress right now, the way Rush is pitching for the circle?
Can I give you a cliched answer?
Sure.
2 is better than 1.
That isn't the one I was expecting. High pitch.
You don't have to worry about the runner moving to second base. You've got 2 outs. Gamesmanship being played by both coaches, or all 3 coaches, I should say.
So second base is stole. Slow down. Try to get the throw. The errant throw does not happen. Fouled away. 2-2.
And Mark, the game hinges in this inning, on this at bat. It's either going to be the 3rd out, and Fullerton comes back and gets back into this ball game by scoring a run in their bottom half of the inning, or Cypress may break it open if they get a base hit here.
2-2 count. 2 outs. Second and third. Slap into left field. 1 run scores. And a batter that doesn't try to do too much with the pitch, gets it on the outside and just takes it down the left field line.
Second base number 14.
So the former CIF Player of the Year, Jordan Thompson, gives them a 2-0 lead, and that's a crucial hit, Mark.
Here we go, 3-0. Take it and jump.
So run in the 4th or run in the 5th. Lisa Huerta is now on squeezes. Everybody on the move.
And that's the one thing you like about Brad Pickler coach teams. They're efficient. They only have 3 hits in this whole game, but they've got 2 runs.
Squeeze, no. Runner looks. Everybody on the move. And what I like about them showing bunt is you get the defense moving. Somebody may move and a little slap happens. 2-1.
And Lopez can exploit that high heat. And those calls at the numbers below the and right below the shoulders, if some may consider that high, that's being a consistent called strike.
Down the middle, Dufresne has it. Picks it up over to first in time. But not before Cypress doubles their lead with a run here in the 5th inning. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 big error, and 1 left on base. As we head to bottom of 5, well, they've got a couple. It's the Chargers 2, the Hornets 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Gabby Nalen, Corey Nalen, Albert Robles, Joseph Pavlenko still behind me. And you know what? We got all sorts of alumni in the grandstands. I'm looking, got the 2 college presidents sitting next to each other over on my left. You've got alumni and old softball. Should I say the word old? How do I call them? I don't want to call them old.
Former softball coach.
Alumni softball coaches.
Former softball coach.
Former softball coaches.
Alumni, you have to graduate from the school.
Oh, okay. Former softball coaches. I mean, this game's really being treated as if it is a.
Well, it should be. I mean, honestly, Mark, when and we'll harp on it all the time. We've even talked to Olympians in the game of softball, and all Americans in the game of softball, and they've all agreed that Southern California is the epicenter for softball. Youth, high school, community college, it's the epicenter. So when you have a championship game, no matter what it is, yeah, you're going to get people here.
Okay, just, you don't have to give me a year. I know it's many, but you've been associated with the game of softball since you were a little guy, right?
Oh, yeah, traveling with the Mustangs, with your travel ball with Al Newton, Charles Walker, and those teams. And they had players like Pam Newton, Sue Lewis back in the 70s, 80s. And so I've been around since then, yeah.
So that's why you really do say the lineage of softball is California lineage that creeps across the country and makes other teams better because Californians are on their lineups.
Oh yeah, we watch from NAIA Division III to Division I. The best teams will have a player from Southern California, and if you don't have a Southern California player, you have a player from California on your team. No matter where you go, no matter what level, if you're a good team, you will have one, it seems like.
And of course, you have a cousin that should be in the Hall of Fame of the college she played at.
Oh yeah, we're still trying to get Tara into the Hall of Fame over at Hampton University.
Doesn't she still have like 5 or 6 records at Hampton?
Yeah, she's got them in the top 5 in pretty much every category, offensively and defensively.
Casey Dufresne needs to get something going here for the Hornets in the 5th. They're down by 2.
Or I should say in the circle and offensively. She played with head coach at Riverside, Michelle Dodona, at Mount Sac and Walnut High School back in the day.
Ball down away. We had Michelle on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about those years, those early years of softball.
Yeah. We had Susie Brasney, who was on with us on this show during the summer talking softball, Cal Poly great.
Casey Dufresne fouls it out. Drops untouched.
And you mentioned, Mark, back in the old school, Sue Lewis, who went to Cal State Fullerton, a heavy hitter. And, you know, it's funny you see nowadays the players with Jordan Chamberlain, Lauren Chamberlain. You have Jocelyn Alo now at Oklahoma in the Oklahoma lineup.
Next pitch, taken for strike 3.
That was pretty, Mark. That wasn't fair. Emily Rush played professional pitcher on that at bat. And you really look at Sue Lewis, who was really the big bopper who was started to hit home runs. Then you have Stacy Newman at UCLA, who had over 90 home runs. Then at Arizona, then you have the new players who are just hitting home runs left and right. Sue Lewis probably had the biggest bat. And Mark, what are you noticing out with the 2-run lead? Emily Rush in the circle. She seems a little bit more confident, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, she really is. She's now decided the strike zone really does belong to her. Surprised that pitch was called a little high on her right down the middle.
So Osagara pitch hitting, psychology major out of Whittier High School.
Taking over the right. To foot race to first base. The flip in time on an excellent play by Emily Atkinson, and Alyssa Huerta was aware to get to first base because Atkinson wasn't going to make the play.
Number 30, Jessica Lopez.
Cypress 2, the Hornet 0 here on SportsNetUSA.net. So an air of confidence from Cypress College.
And if you're Fullerton, you don't want to press.
Lopez hits it, and it takes the dying Quail bounce. Heading for second, the throw, she's in there safely.
And Jessica Lopez did what she needed to do, not press. But again, she gets bailed out by an error on the third baseman in Sandoval. And she, as the hustles, gets to second base with an opportunity to score on a base hit. And pitch hitting will be Sky Samano, Mark, for Fullerton, business major out of Riverside Poly High School.
And this is what you love about Speedy and Crystal. They trust everybody sitting in that dugout with them.
Speedy in her 11th season as head coach, 22nd overall in the softball program this year, Mark. All CIF world champion, U.S. junior national team, Long Beach State, Women's College World Series in '88. A wealth of softball knowledge from Speedy Mendoza.
Pitch fouled away.
Along with her 2019 OEC Coach of the Year partner, State Coach of the Year in 19, Aguirre. Now the new head coach for Fullerton College. Been an assistant since 2011. All OEC in 98, excuse me. State finals in 2000. All OEC, all SoCal, all state is Crystal Aguirre as a player.
Yeah, she was on that Fullerton College team that won the back-to-back titles in 2000 and 2001.
And they're doing it on the field with this team and also in the classroom, Mark. You talked about that earlier with them.
3.59 GPA, 10 academic All-Americans. Agregano GPA 3.95. So when you look at it, these two women that are the coaches for Fullerton College are not only coaches, they're educators. And Corey, to listen to them talk about their players, they respect the young women that are their players and their students, and they will help them any way they can. And that just tells you, if you wanted to play for this team, these would be two coaches you want to play for.
Yeah, Bridget Ruiz is back on the staff. CCCA record 15th in innings pitched in a season.
Ball gets away, so runner at third.
So while we were talking and jabbering, Jocelyn Alcala is the pinch runner for Jessica Lopez, so she advances to third base.
And now an error, a hit, a pass ball, and if you're the Hornets, you can cut the lead in half. Fouled away.
And just a little bit late, Mark. She waited, kept her hands in, kept her feet straight. And what I mean by straight is she didn't put that foot down until the ball arrived. She was going the other way no matter what.
Fouled away. 1-2 is the count.
And you got to be expecting fastball.
I expect an off-speed pitch.
Hey, you got it, Alex.
I see an off-speed pitch coming. 1-2. Corey Nayland's fastball right there.
She stays alive. Good at bat.
Of course, the old adage to a pitcher, never get beaten on your worst pitch. If you're going to get beaten, make sure you get beaten on your best pitch. Emily Rush has an excellent rising fastball.
That last one didn't rise.
Fouled off again.
And that was a fastball. She was going low. Lower quadrant, no curve mark, no drop, just a straight fastball below the knees.
One and two. The 1-2 pitch. Rush brings it off speed.
Go. That's the strikeout pitch. She threw a changeup that was wicked. Samana was there every pitch mark, waiting and waiting and waiting, and she changed up on 3 fastballs, and there was nothing she could do.
So the 5th inning, a dramatic 5th inning, comes to an end. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. As we head to the top of the 6th, it's the Cypress College Chargers 2, your Fullerton College Hornets 0, here on Sportsnet USA.net.
That's the 3rd strikeout for Rush this game, and M. Pavlovich at SportsNetUSA.net is where you can always email your questions that you have about softball and trivia answers. Because, Mark, have you figured out those other teams who won the 5 championships?
I have not, but I'm going to say 2 of them are from Northern California.
No.
They're all from Southern California?
No, only 1 is from Northern California, and that, Mark, was
I should remember this. Go ahead, give it to me.
Sierra in 14, Santiago College in 16, Santiago Canyon in 16, Sierra in 14, Cerritos in 2008.
That's right.
And actually, you were right. Sacramento City in 2004. I was going back a little bit further than 14.
Leading off for Cypress, number 21, Emily Atkinson.
I'm sorry. Not Sacramento City. Palomar won 2.
I wondered if somebody from San Diego area won.
Yes, it was only Palomar 2, Sierra 1, Santiago Canyon 1. And Cerritos 1.
Cypress up 2-0 here in the top of the 6th. Atkinson comes up now.
Mark, this is a Cypress team who's really dialed in. We talked to Brad beforehand, and he said, my team is finally healthy. We felt good yesterday, and it's rolling over today, and that's a nice outside corner for a strike. It's rolling over to today as we expected, well, at least I expected, if Cypress is going to win, there's going to be big run support. But now it's a pitcher's duel and great softball play. They have a 2-0 lead.
Hit there, D. Ramirez has it, bounce off, takes her time, over to first. And you like that from a shortstop who squares her body, Corey, goes down, knocks it down even if she doesn't field it, keeps it in front of herself, takes her time, and makes the throw for the out.
Rush trying to help herself. Sac fly RBI in the 4th, grounded out to 3rd in the 1st.
Dropping her ERA in this game. And when you have people in the circle that give up those minimum runs, You know, and Corey and I it will always be an ongoing battle about ERA. You know, when you have pitchers that, Corey, when they're bad, they only give up 2 runs. It's tough on solid offensive teams. You even look at Cypress right now. Like you said to me, starting lineup, nobody under 300, yet they've only scored 2 runs in this game. And they've really scored the 2 runs on dynamic running.
Yeah, and that's just the game of softball, Mark. I mean, you remember the game back in the day. I mean, there were no home runs hit. There were home runs hit, but not as prolific as now. But again, you get a runner on first base who's got some speed, they better end up on third with 1 out.
Yeah, exactly. Rush pulls it foul.
Because you're either stealing second or bouncing him over, or you're stealing second and bunting him over. Though that was your option.
Yeah, and you always felt good if you had a runner at third with 2 outs.
Yeah. That's Santiago. Speaking of that, Santiago Canyon is prolific as they were offensively hitting.
Pops it up.
They stole a lot of bases.
Oh, yeah, the year that they were dominant, you would see people get a single and you would say, that's a triple. Because you knew they were going to steal second and third.
Gertsen, that was the catcher's name. I believe that was the name out of the Netherlands. Her and Olagi, they had a couple players who went to Hawaii after their playing career. Lisa's done a very, very good job over there.
2-0, Cypress. The feel of a state championship here at Fullerton College. The pitch. Off of Jessica's hip. And Tara tells everybody, make sure you knock it down. 1 out, 3-2 count, 1 out, 2-0 lead for Cypress here in the top of the 6th. Three-two pitch. High fly ball. PV House to the fence and makes the catch. Paige Schaefer, right fielder's up. Had a hit in the second and grounded out to Dufresne. Fouled away.
So Paige out of Marina High School flew out, sacrificed, or excuse me, bunted single in that second inning and grounded out in the 4th.
And of course, I keep talking about Casey Dufresne, Corey, and we have a new third baseman out there defensively for the Hornets.
Here we go, Jazz!
Oh, Celeste Paniagua is at third now. So Jessica Lopez, arguably the best pitcher in the OEC this year. Her and Emily Rosas. If you're giving it'll be interesting to see what the postseason awards are. If Lopez does get Pitcher of the Year and Dee Ramirez gets Player of the Year, it'll be interesting.
Next pitch. Paniagua goes to the fence. It's foul.
Ramirez, Player of the Year. Lopez, Player of the Year candidate. Emily Rush is a Player of the Year candidate for Cypress.
I don't think you can discount the pitcher at Santa Ana College.
No, you cannot. Emily Rosas is a Player of the Year candidate. Emily Atkinson. Atkinson is also, so it'll be interesting on what they do with Player of the Year and Coaches of the Year. Usually the teams that wins conference wins the awards.
3-2. So that brings up Sandoval. And you see if Brad starts the runner here on the first pitch.
I definitely would. First or second pitch, put pressure on to begin. You're up 2-0. Fullerton is all year has proven that they can score at any time. So the more runs you have.
First pitch for a ball. 2 outs, runner at first. 2-0 Cypress. Top of the 6th. More and more people squeezing in to watch this game. A little high.
And she's pressing just a little bit, Mark. It's not following through on her delivery. And you can see that result in those high pitches.
Next one again called high.
She's your ace in the circle. But in championship situations, maybe an instance where if she doesn't get this batter,
they're taken for a strike. Oh, I think the Hornets live and die with her in the circle here today.
and what you got to do is give her another one.
So 3-1, runner at first, up by 2.
And that's a pitch that was being given all day long, just not given there.
So we're going to get a little conversation. Bridget Reyes is going to go out there, and Ruiz is going to go out there and talk to them in the circle.
We watched Bridget Reyes at Vanguard University play basketball. Bridget Ruiz pitch in the circle.
Yep.
Here at Fullerton.
So the Hornets sort of at that cornerstone here. Need to stop this run. 2 outs.
Shortstop number 3, Cameron Armando.
Can't give up any more. Cameron Armando at the plate. You look at Armando. Flew out to center and then had a double, a big double in the 5th inning. Takes the first pitch for a strike.
And here's where you got to work the corners, Mark. You can't put anything right down the middle. And you got to be careful of the outside, so you got to mix it up. High and tight on the inside, low and away on the outside.
Hornets in tight at the corner. Taken back up the middle. Throw to third, not in time. And so, once again, Armando comes through big for Cypress College.
And Mark, the ball was coming inside, but no, it stayed and floated over the middle of the plate. And Armando, who had that big double last time at bat, just grooves one up the middle for an RBI single.
And now it's 3-0 here as Cypress puts one up in the 4th, one up in the 5th, and one up in the 6th.
Number 42, Aubrey New.
New might be due. She's got a single her first time up. Reached on an error. Her second at bat.
Pitch on the outside. So we've said it about Cypress all the time, Corey. It seems that when they meet Fullerton in the big game, I don't know, maybe it's something about playing the Hornets. It brings out that special feeling if you're a Cypress Charger.
You remember even in baseball, 2013, when both Cypress and Fullerton made it to the state finals, and Fullerton had the best team in the state, but they played a hot Cypress team that put a whooping on them.
Yep. New drives it all the way to the wall in left field, takes the hop. And now the lead opens up to 5. Well, Brad had a smile on his face when he showed up today.
And there's a reason why he had a smile on his face. He had a healthy, finally a completely healthy team coming off a 13-4 victory, saying that was probably the best game he's seen his team play all season.
Lopez gets called strike.
So with that pinch hitter now, it's going to be Emily Wagenbrenner out of Almadena High School.
Saw her play first base last time they played each other. Fouls that one off.
English major.
And remember, this is the OEC tournament. So the Hornets are the OEC champions. This would be that you would be the OEC tournament champions. So this would be very similar to conferences playing qualifying tournaments to see if you made it to the next step.
Right. And it would have been interesting if they could have pulled off the SportsNetUSA.net 9-team tourney.
As she swings to the last one, but Cypress adds 3 here in the 6th. 3 runs on 2 hits. We'll add in 1 walk, and that brings in 3. It's Cypress 5, the Hornets 0 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Well, they're dancing over at Cypress College. The administrators are having a great time. And everybody with a little softball is here watching it today. Corey Nealon, Gabby Nealon, here on sports.usa.net. Gabby's colorful today. The sun has gotten to her. Gabby looks like she's been surfing all day long here on sports.usa.net. Gabby Nealon hanging 10. Of course, then again, she'd probably rather be at the beach than here with us on sports.usa.net. Emily Rush spotted with 5. With 2 innings to go.
Now batting for the Hornets, number 44, Madison Ferguson.
Madison Ferguson, 0 for 2 today. Grounded out the 3rd, fly to the left. Been one of those days that the Hornets offense has not reared and said, oh, excuse us, we're here in the game.
So you're looking at a 5-0 deficit.
Madison Ferguson hits it. It's going to drop just foul. Hornets looking for the cue shot to get somebody on base.
And they haven't had many solid hits marked this game against Emily Rush. They had a hit in the 4th, sacrifice bunt, and a single in the 2nd. And they weren't hard hit balls.
Yeah, I've got Rush throwing a 2-hitter. That's what you've got too,
yeah,
right?
She's got a 2-hitter going. And Madison Ferguson right now hasn't been able to get anything out of the infield. And now here's your bat speed and bat control is you bounce one to the left side of the infield and try to use your speed to reach first base.
Sandoval, who just has hugged the line all day long at 3rd base. Protecting for that slap hitter is what she's done. And Corey, defensively, whoever set up the defense for Cypress has played it well against this Hornet team. Ferguson looking for something to start a rally. Off speed outside.
Yeah, she tried that change one more time.
Mora tried to really frame the plate, behind the plate. The catcher for Cypress didn't get the call.
Mora was a four-sport athlete at Tustin High School, Mark.
1-2. Same pitch. Rush in the circle makes the play. And that's one thing you like with a pitcher who can play defense. That adds that extra infielder.
Yeah, if it gets by Rush, it's a single, infield single. Rush fields her position, it's the first out of the inning.
Natalie Gonzalez comes up. One of the few hits in this game today. Found her single in the fourth. Takes that one in. So again, the defense sits the same way. Sandoval over at third. Adamando at short. Huerta at second. Atkinson at first. Mora the catcher. For Cypress, that's their infield. Thompson left. Curiel in center. And Schaefer over in right. They have played solid defense today for the Cypress Charger team. One. Back up. That time it's bobbled by Emily Rush, and the runner is safe at first.
You're going to give her an error on that, aren't you, Mark?
I am.
Miranda Rooney.
The way the ball cued off the bat created a spin that as soon as the ball bounced on the dirt, it took a wicked hop and a wicked turn. So if you were the scorekeeper, you give her an error. I might give it a hit just because of the way the ball came off and bounced on the dirt.
And this is where, when I was talking to Speedy about giving the error in the outfield, you watch somebody's head too, be it an outfielder or an infielder. And if they look someplace else before the ball's there, if they watch it going in, they've got the out. She looks up because the runner gets out of the box so fast. She takes her eye off the ball for that split second, and so when it does the little dog leg turn, it hits her glove and doesn't go into her glove. That's why the error is given.
Still give it a hit, but it's an E1 if you're scoring at home with one out and a runner on. So let's see if that ignites Fullerton.
Miranda Rooney is up again.
Now Miranda can't run, so she's got to hit a home run, basically, Mark. Or a very long single.
Ball one. Hornets looking for a rally here in the bottom of the sixth. They trail by 5. Ball two.
And she leads the team in hitting at .413. No home runs. 31 hits, which is second on team. 3 triples, 2 doubles, but she's not legging any doubles or triples out at this juncture.
Swings through that one. Sounds like she was listening to Corey Nalen.
Yeah, you can always tell when you drop to one knee that you are swinging for the fences.
2-1's the count. Cypress up by 5. The Hornets trying to find something on the corner.
In the corner of Acacia. That wasn't near limit or anything by Berkeley here.
2-2's the count. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. So the Chargers scored 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Everybody from Fullerton was still saying, it's there, and then 3 big runs in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, but 1 run in the 4th, 1 run in the 5th, 3 runs in the 6th. I think I've got the pitcher. We know we got the pitcher time.
Rooney hits it. Over to second for one. Back to first. Double play. 5-4-3 here in the bottom of the sixth. And now Cypress is on cruise control as we head to the top of the seventh. It's the Chargers 5, the Hornets 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Brad Pickler brings his team in with his 9 state championships, feeling that old competition coming back into his life, and he's ready to head up north. And if you're the young ladies over in the dugout for the Hornets, well, you have had an incredible season. And if this was a tournament for state championship, well, it's double elimination as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And that's why I think Fullerton would have prospered this year rather than years previously. Because even with the loss today, if this had been a state title situation, this team is so good and battled adversity throughout the whole year that I believe they would have battled back and been in the championship game this year. Whether that would have been against Cypress again, San Mateo, San Jose, or an upstart like Cuesta, or an old hand like Sacramento City. It definitely would have been interesting to see all those teams play. Sierra was down this year.
Yeah.
Cypress seemed like they were down this year. That's because they were injured. So those teams like that. Mount Sac was down this year. And when you say down, they're just not the normal records that they usually have of like a 40-2.
Yeah, you expect domination when you talk about the two teams.
Now batting to the
See, I think Gabby Naylor's getting cold. Look at, she's searching for sunshine. See? I'm right, wasn't I?
You could go get her a jacket. My car's parked right there.
Cypress up by 5 here. 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. Drop the bunt. Picked up. Throw over to first. Thrown between the legs of Natalie Gonzalez. So another error. So the sure-handed defense of the Hornets now is struggling in this game.
second baseman number 14, Alyssa Huerta.
That's on the throw, right?
Yes, error on the throw. Another bot drop. Throw over to first in time. Throw back. They've got the runner in a pickle now. Rundown happening. Tagged out there. So a double play made on that. Double play goes 3 to 4 to 5 to 4.
First baseman number 21, Emily Atkinson.
Four, 6.
Yep.
So 4-6, 6-5, 4-6-5.
Well, no. 3 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 5, 5 back to 4.
Okay, you're calling it continuous?
Yeah.
Okay. I like to break them up.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where you hope your book is big enough as you write down nine numbers for that double play. One and two is the count. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Cypress looking to walk away with the OEC tournament title. Pulled foul. We've all stuck around. Albert Robles is still here to my right. Joseph Pavlenko is still behind me. Gabby Nalen over to my left. Corey Nalen behind me on my left. Ed Ford down the left field line.
I like how you say we have a choice.
Fly ball, left field, taken there by Clarissa Hernandez. And so it's the last chance for the Hornets here in the bottom of the 7th. They're trailing by 5. It's Cypress 5, the Hornets 0 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Let us thank Fullerton College for letting us be out here all year long. Thank you very much. It's been a joy following the softball team and doing the baseball games here on SportsNetUSA.net. To the crew from 90.1 KBPK, my man Joe sitting behind me, Joseph Pavlenko. Hey, stop by the radio station and find out about the program. And Ryan Osborne, thank you for everything you've given all year long. I tell you what, talk about dedication. They've been out here, and that's why you have seen all the softball and baseball on SportsNetUSA.net. For my partners that have been on the air in a very trying season, COVID, do you show up? Do you not show up? When do you get your shots? Do the games from home. Corey Nalen, Rashawn Haylock, at the beginning of the season, they can tell you it wasn't easy sitting in your own house, not hearing anything, trying to call a game here on SportsNetUSA.net. Want to thank them for the games they call. It's always been a ball. And for Noah Alvarez, finally deciding to trek his way out to the baseball field and hang out with the old guy, thank you, Noah. And for Ed Ford putting this all together all season long, all these years at Fullerton College. If it wasn't for Ed Ford, you wouldn't have seen the 17 years of Fullerton College football, Golden West College football, LA Valley College football, East LA Valley College football, Orange Coast College softball and baseball, Golden West College softball and baseball, Santiago Canyon softball, and then this year at Fullerton College. So to Ed Ford, thank you, Ed, for everything you've done, and for all of you that have stuck with us and watched. Hey, we don't do it if we don't have you, and we'll be back this coming football season. Make sure you keep watching us at the show, hosted by Corey Nalen, at the Coaches Show on 90.1 KBPK, and when we all return this coming season for Fullerton College football, Golden West College football, and a variety of teams here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ramirez. Throw. Easy little pickup by Adamando over at short. One up, one down.
Number 3, Madison B.B. House.
So the bats have been quiet, and Corey, that's the real difference in this game.
2 hits. That's it, given up by Emily Rush today.
She's been outstanding in the circle.
Cypress came out with something to prove. Yeah, we didn't win the title for the first time in 5 years, but we're going to win something this season, even if it's the OEC tournament. As Emily Rush, who's got an under 2 ERA as well this season. And they didn't do it with flash, Mark. They just did it with consistency thus far.
Adamando at short says, let me get 2 in a row, which she does.
Yeah.
So the Hornets are down to a brilliant season to their last out.
Yeah.
Mark, speaking of brilliant season, San Mateo finished 27-0.
Third baseman, number 34.
Okay, and can I leave this on a controversial note? You watched NJCCA softball this year.
Mm-hmm. What's controversial about it?
OEC, if they were in the OEC, what team would probably be on top?
I watched the NJCAA a lot this year, and it's not controversial. I simply think that we need a national championship between CCCAA and an NCJC or NJCAA champion team.
So once again, Corey Nalen and I are both pushing, especially in softball, for a national championship.
And even if it's not anything that's legitimized as a national championship, as Milo Segura is going to step into play, I just think it's necessary. I think California has the best teams. The NJCAA has tremendous talent, but overall, I think the numbers that you're seeing, the gaudy numbers, will come down a little bit to earth when you're playing in the OEC, the Western State, even up north against teams like San Mateo and Sierra. I think those gaudy numbers that you see wouldn't be so gaudy in the NJCAA.
So Maya Osurga up now for the Hornets. Down to the last out of the season. Fouls it off. The ladies had a brilliant year on the field and an outstanding year off the field. 10 academic All-Americans. That says enough for what the coaches have done with these brilliant young players on their team. Surga back to Emily Rush, and that's going to do it as they win the OEC tournament. Brad Pickler came in here being Brad Pickler, chummy, happy, laughing, and everything else, and at the end of the day, he's down at the third base box with that smile on his face. But Fullerton, your season was not a loss, it was not a miss, because you are the OEC season champions, and the Chargers are the OEC tournament champions. For all of us here on sports@usa.net, we want to thank you for watching all season long as the Chargers walk away with the championship here on sportsnet.usa.net.